Doing good, man. What's up? What's up? How you
Hey,
been?
not too bad. Just hanging in there, Blessed and truly favored. So, just living life.
Yes,
Nothing
sir.
too
Yes,
crazy.
sir.
How
I
about yourself?
know. And I'm doing good too, just taking it day by day, trying to figure
Uh,
out this stuff. I finally got it figured out, it looks like.
hey, I feel you 100%. I know exactly how you feel. A lot of crazy things going on in the world.
I know it's real crazy, especially like the BRICS. I've been researching more into like the BRICS nation and stuff, and it's
Mhm.
interesting like how they're calculating all these plays to devalue the US dollar. Like that's crazy.
Hey, it's a lot of things going on in the world, and people are not really paying attention. Kudos to you. You are. There's other people that are too, but like
Kudos to
BRICS is like
you.
that's gonna be a powerhouse in the future. As much as I love the dollar being in the United States, like to see de-dollarization happen and kind of speed up this digital transformation that's basically going on, like it's pretty mind blowing. It's pretty mind blowing. And then like all these nations, literally every week, like there's some new nation trying to join BRICS. You got what? Saudi Arabia,
Yes,
Iran,
Egypt. I think
Algeria,
Egypt just joined, if I'm not mistaken.
Egypt won. Egypt
Yep.
won. They definitely put in their application. Turkey.
Hey,
It's mind blowing that a lot of people are moving away from this and looking at other forms of money, and it's literally happening day by day, and everybody's missing it. Everybody's distracted by these balloons. The train rails. Obviously, heart goes out to those people. That
yeah,
is crazy. I can imagine living
tragedy.
going through something like that, but there's a lot of other things going on in the world that are pretty much getting the attention right now. So yeah, pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, the train derail, that was in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was actually a couple of them. So somebody tagged me on Twitter. I think it was South Carolina and Texas too, if I'm not mistaken.
Texas.
And then
I live in Texas. That's crazy.
I thought it was. I'm pretty sure it was Texas. I could be wrong. Like I said, it was a couple though. It was more than just one. I can tell you that for sure. And then we had like the shootings and everything going on too, and it's a lot. It's literally like mind blowing. Like you just wake up and some random things on the news is like wow, like what is going on?
Hey,
Crazy world we.
yeah, it's crazy times, man. It's definitely crazy times. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming on and doing this interview with me, man. I've been trying to get
No
this for a long
problem.
time. I
No
really
problem.
appreciate it.
I am
And
always down to talk crypto. I have no problem doing this anytime. I sincerely appreciate, the invite and being here, and hopefully we could bring some kind of value to somebody somewhere.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. So I'd like to start off with like a basic question, like just to get you in
Okay.
general. It doesn't even have to be about crypto. If you would like to go there,
Okay.
we can start like that. Okay, so like, what do you do for a living?
So I work in the automotive industry. We'll say it's related to that,
Okay.
insurance specific. So that's pretty much what I do. That's my day job, my 9 to 5. Obviously, I do take my money. I invest in different projects, things of that sort. Trying to change my life just like pretty much anybody and everybody. Middle class. There's nothing special about me. I just like researching, looking into things. I have a bunch of people behind the scenes that are doing this. Like Alan, Crypto Fox, Cryptological. Like there's a lot of people that are literally putting in the hours and the time. So that way we can bring this to the forefront, so that way the masses know about it. So that's pretty much my I guess I won't say a side job, because I'm not like monetized or anything, but
Okay.
I just want to help people essentially. That's I want to bring some kind of value to the space, hopefully change somebody's perspective, how they view things, whether it's XRP, doesn't matter, XLM, XDC, I think that, a lot of people are kind of shooting in the dark if you want to look at it that way. There's like 21 or 22,000 plus cryptocurrencies. So I take the time to look into some of these, specifically XRP, obviously based on my channel, but just trying to help bring some kind of positivity to somebody, so that way it encourages them to also research, you know, do their time, put in the hours, the minutes, whatever, something. So that way you're just not willy nilly in this crypto market, because it is young. There's a lot of money to be made. And I think if you invested in the right projects, I think at some point, you will reap the benefit of that. So that's pretty much where I am. Nothing special.
Okay, okay. And so like whenever you started getting to like this crypto universe learning about this, like how did you come across XRP? Because it's not a coin you just like come across, if you know what I mean. Like did
So,
somebody put you in the door or what?
yeah. So yeah, I have a really close friend of mine that we basically jumped into the crypto space probably around the same time. And he was telling me about some of the things he's looking into, some of the projects he invested in. I originally when I jumped in, I won't say I'm willy nilly, but like I didn't really know much about some of these cryptocurrencies or and digital assets. Like I said, I definitely didn't look into utility at first. I would find something like, hey, this was mentioned on the news, or, I'm in a couple different groups as well. And they'll be like, hey, yeah, have you heard about this cryptocurrency or this digital asset? Like, all right, well, let me do a little research. Oh, it's cheap. I'm gonna throw some money in. So, and obviously, you have to have some kind of method to your madness if you really want to make money in this space. Sometimes people do get lucky. I ain't gonna lie. There's some, where people have made some money, and it's like, that's pretty much how I started. And then, he pretty much told me, he's like, yeah, man, I'm going all in regards to this one. And I'm like, okay, well, let me do a little more research on this. Obviously I had some, but I'm like, all right, let me start researching.
Okay, so
Then I
he
started
told
looking
you
at
about
like,
it. Did you like think
right,
it was a
right. And he put
scam?
me on
Did you
game.
think it was a scam? Like, did you think it was too good to be true, or what?
So I had seen all these articles about, oh, XRP is a scam. Oh, it's a
Hmm.
fad. Oh, they're just dumping on the market. Oh, Ripple's just taking your money. Like all these things. And I'm like, I don't know. I think I want to look more into this, because a lot of people take things for face value, and I think that's what the problem is. They just rely on this person. He said, she said, hearsay. Like, oh, I came across one article that said it's a scam, so I'm not going to look any further. And I'm not
Yeah.
that kind of person. I'd rather do my own research and also, gain my perspective, so that way I'm not just relying on somebody else's information. Because there's a lot of misinformation out there, especially in regards to Ripple
Oh,
and
that's
Humpty.
crazy.
And yeah, it's it's
Crazy.
it's at an all-time high right now. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but it's crazy. So I just decided to like research it a little bit more, and I'm like, man, people are talking about this is like a banker's coin. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
bankers,
I remember
bankers
when that was going
don't.
around. That was like what 2018, 2019. People started
Yeah,
saying it was a banker's
yep.
coin.
Like,
Right
oh,
on.
don't invest there. It's the banker's coin. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like,
That's not a bad thing.
banks usually move a lot of money, and
Uh-huh.
banks don't
So,
usually lose. So I'm like, I'm gonna do some research into this. So I started looking at some of the partnerships. Like, obviously, I did start out. I'm not gonna lie, with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was
okay, yeah,
out
perfectly
there in the
fine.
light. Right, exactly.
Amazing piece of technology.
Exactly. It was literally groundbreaking technology. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna start here, and then I had some Ethereum at some point, hypothetically, and now here I am with XRP, and I was like, looking at some of the partnerships, like Iremit, Santander, Neum Bank, like Accenture.
Hmm.
These are like huge names of banks, and it's like people are pretty much dismissing it. Like, hey, I came across this article and it said it's a scam. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think banks would be signing up with a company, and this is like a starter company. Like what? They're worth like 15 billion now. Like
Yeah,
this
it
is
came out
literally
of
a
nowhere. A
fintech.
unicorn company, right?
Right. Like this is a
It came out of
fintech out of
nowhere.
California. Like, I'm like, I'm gonna do my due diligence, okay? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that miss that Bitcoin craze, and I'm one of them. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I didn't know too much
Come
about it
on,
until quite
dude.
stuff, but now that I know more about the technology, I started looking into it, researching it. I have a couple friends and stuff that are also invested in this technology, and like this is game changing. And I don't think people realize the magnitude of what's happening around them. Like this fourth industrial revolution is not going to wait for anybody. And a
Yeah.
lot of people think, hey, I'll just research it tomorrow, or you tell them about it, and it's like, I'll think about it. And it's like, all right, I kind of encourage you to look into it. I'm not going to do all the work for you. And a lot of people want to hand it to them. And, I think that's the problem and a misconception. You sometimes have to put in the effort, the work, the hours, whatever, so that way you can reap the benefits. So just my thoughts in regards to that. But yeah, partnerships said a lot for me. Like I said, and I've seen the scam articles, but then I did more research into it, and there's some things that actually dismiss those scam articles about
Yep. Yep.
Ripple is on the company, and oh, they have majority share, and oh, like I think they run what 4 validators out of like 150. So like,
Yeah, they don't run that
if
much.
Ripple,
And what's
hmm?
crazy is the SEC runs a node. That's what's real crazy.
Right, and
And they have
that's
this
another thing
ongoing
that caught my
litigation
eye.
with Ripple. And I was like, that's kind of crazy.
That is another thing that caught my eye. I'm like, okay, so you guys are dropping this lawsuit. You guys run a node on the ledger. Something ain't adding up. That math is not mathing for me.
Yes,
so,
sir. Definitely not.
so like I said, those partnerships I think are going to be very major in the future. Like I said, obviously, I'm here to zero, I'm here to hero. It don't matter, but I think I've done enough research at this point for myself, and everybody has to do it for their own selves too. You have to know, like, you have to realize the values in the protocol, and nobody can tell you the value of something until you realize it for yourself. Like you have to do the research sometimes, and a lot of people don't want to do that. The typical person is probably not going to do that. You come across a 150-page article, like nobody's going to want to read that.
They don't want to put in
They're
the
going to be like, no, I'm
time or
not
the
reading
effort to
this.
read and all that.
I mean, even if you want to skip a few, I mean, you learn something from the article. They always bring some kind of value. They give you nuggets of information. Sometimes you have to connect the dots. And some people don't like to connect the dots, or they're not the best at connecting dots, and it's not for everybody. So, like I said, there's people that drop their bags when this lawsuit happened, and it's like, all
Hmm.
right, you give up at the finish line, and like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I have financial experience. Let me just get
Yes,
that out the
thank
way.
you. Yep, let's get that out the way
So
first and foremost.
right, yeah, hey, don't invest in anything unless you totally understand it. And, I definitely recommend doing the research. I'm not going to do it for you. Some YouTuber can't tell you, hey, this is going to be the next big thing. You have to understand that for yourself. Like, you have to be willing to put in that time. So, I'm trying to get that out there. I've let family know. I've let friends know. Some have brushed it off. Some may have hypothetically jumped on board. It is what it is at the end of the day. Once this thing goes, I don't think it comes back.
I
So,
definitely don't think it comes back either. I'm definitely on.
yeah, this
So
is a
like,
once in 4 generations.
yeah, maybe more than that. This might be like a once in a just a once opportunity, just a one time thing that
Right.
ever happens. Like I can't even explain it.
I
It's
feel you
that big of an
100%.
opportunity.
I feel you 100%. I
Okay,
don't
so
think it's
like
gonna come back.
when you were looking into XRP, what put the nail in the coffin for you? Like, I know I'm in the right cryptocurrency. I know I'm investing in the right projects. Like, how did you know? What made you like just so sure? Because other people, they just like, oh no, the lawsuit came,
Um,
sold their bags, or the price goes down, they get nervous, sell their bags. Like, what made you be like, okay, I'm in this till it ends or till it goes all the way up?
So there's a couple of different ways to tackle that question. So it was one of the best performing assets of 2018, if I'm not mistaken, and it moved
Right.
quick. There weren't any other digital assets slash cryptocurrencies. Like I said, that space is going to change. Digital assets, I think, is more utility based. Cryptocurrencies is something basically some guy made in his basement just to make money off somebody. But it was one of the best performing assets. So I'm like, well, obviously that's going to catch my eye. And at the end of the day, Bitcoin is what, like $20,000 at this point. Ethereum's like what, like 1,500. XRP was up there on the list. So I'm like, you know what? It's not that expensive. Let me do some more research into this. And it moves quick.
Really
It
quick.
knocked a lot of people by surprise. Literally in the span of like 2 weeks, like, was it like 64,000%? It was a high number.
It
We'll
was,
just
it
put it
was
that way.
crazy. It
Okay.
was
Don't
ridiculous. It was
Yeah. It was a
ridiculous.
ridiculous number. Like you would wake up like, what? Like so that was one thing. Another thing, I noticed that it along with XLM pretty much trade in like a range. So they don't do much movement, but when they do move, they pop and like I mentioned, like pretty quick. So, I was like, okay, maybe there's a reason for this. I know a lot of people are not really fans of it. They're like, hey, it doesn't go up. Hey, it doesn't move with new partnerships. Hey, they just signed up 3 new banks this week. Why is the price still the same?
Hmm.
And I think that kind of drew my attention a little bit. Believe it or not, that's kind of weird. You would think you would want to jump in something like, hey, I know this is gonna pop, and then whatever.
Yeah.
But uh, and I started researching it, like I said, and the partnerships say a lot for me. And when you start seeing these huge names in regards to banks globally, like literally working with them. I mean, you got Tranglo, Bank of America. They already said they're ready to go like literally day one once this lawsuit is over. So it's like, things like that kind of caught my attention. And
Hmm.
obviously, price, I know is probably going to come with that. Like I said, there's different speculations in regards to price. But there's a couple of people that I've watched over the years that pretty much changed my perspective in regards to XRP, XLM, XDC mainly.
Okay.
T's Crypto Spot, if you haven't checked out his videos,
I definitely
that
check
man,
him out.
hey,
That man
that
knows
man
his
knows a
stuff.
lot. That's all I'm going to say, okay? And it will
The
really
man
change
knows
your
his stuff.
perspective.
Shout
Like
out to Teach
originally, so
Crypto.
exactly. Him, you got Kurt, you got some other like key players, Quincy,
Black Swan,
like
Quincy.
yeah. These guys know their
You
stuff.
definitely on the
Like
list. You're definitely on the list. ISO goat.
appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm not as knowledgeable as them, trust me. Like, I can look at some documents, hey, I can put two and two together, but in regards to like the specific text, from an IT perspective, like that really like broke it down and he put it in like layman's terms that a regular person could understand. So I definitely, appreciate how he does that. He has a very good tact to how he approaches conversations with people as well. So, I definitely recommend that. But pretty much watching him like change my perspective. Like originally I was one of those people, not gonna lie to you, like, hey, I have sell price at so and so, so and so, so and so, and so and so. But I literally threw that out the window because I think this is probably gonna be a lot more valuable than people think. Like I said, I think this is a huge shift in regards to how we do finance, etc. XTC focuses on trade finance specifically, so it's like it's going to be a lot bigger than people think, in my opinion. And I think they've been dragging this ball down the road, just kicking the can, kicking the can, kicking the can. And at some point, they're going to have to make a decision in regards to like debt, That's the main thing, because like it's what, like 330 something trillion at this
It's
point. Like it's probably
ridiculous.
more than that now.
I mean, it
I would
might not
say
even be right. I
probably
mean, just what's on the paper might not be correct. They could be lying, you know? You never know. It could be more. You
exactly,
never know.
exactly. And then you start seeing some of these global events, like de-dollarization, as you mentioned, like before,
Right.
like BRICS is going to be a powerhouse. Like, I
Major
may not want to say that,
powerhouse.
but at the end of the day, I think that's going to get this ball rolling. They're basically playing chess right now with the United States. Okay, the United
It's,
States at some point is going to have to make some kind of decision. Obviously we have this lawsuit going on. It doesn't really matter, in my opinion. Like I said, for anybody that's followed the lawsuit, like it's very drug out. We'll just put it that way. Like the SEC has been drugged through the mud at this point. Like
almost
obviously,
three
you
years
have the
now.
conflicts of interest. Yeah, like it's crazy at this point that
It
it's even
is.
gotten this far, but it is what it is. Like I said, it is an opportunity to, like I said, like some people dumped their bags. Some people actually jumped on board after the lawsuit and, they started stacking their bags, dollar cost averaging. Like it adds up over
Yes,
time.
that's how some
So
people
it's
found
like,
out about it was the lawsuit. So
exactly.
it goes both ways, I guess.
Some people
It's
should
how
be
you look at
thanking
it.
Gary Gensler. I mean, I
Yeah.
know it's not a positive thing to say, a lot of people wanted to be rich yesterday, which is fine, but you're wealthy in your mind long before the money actually hits your bank account, and like I said, you have to realize the value for yourself in some of these assets that you invest in. I'm specifically focusing on like utility, like anything that solves some kind of problem. That is what I'm investing in. That's just, my regular Joe
So like
Schmo opinion.
ISO
Like,
compliant points.
yeah, not even just ISO
Not even ISO.
20022. You got VeChain, that's solving a
Oh yeah.
problem.
Oh yeah. VChain's a
Blockchain,
good
like,
big,
yeah, like
big deal.
there's other digital assets outside of ISO 20022, but it's like, those are my main focus right now. Obviously, they need to be interoperable. You've seen plenty of T's videos, I have as well. So it's like, interoperability is going to be key. There's not just going to be one winner. I think it's going to be multiple winners. And, whatever horse you bet on, if you bet on the right horse, that could be life changing. As long as you put in the time, the effort, you've been dollar cost averaging. I think at some point, we're going to see a turning point, and this is going to shift from retail over to institutional. And that's when it's going to catch some people with their pants down when they're sitting here investing in every random cryptocurrency, and I say crypto, like I said, it doesn't solve a problem, but there's digital assets, literally cream of the crop. And that's what I'm investing in. That's what I'm focusing on right now. So, that's just my thoughts, like I said, but I do think it is coming, with the dollar and everything, everyone moving away from the dollar, especially if Saudi Arabia joins BRICS, at the end of the day, a long time ago, they used to do
Pivot move.
transactions just the dollar. That is changing, and people aren't realizing that's going to affect the United States in a very detrimental way for those not paying attention. So,
Oh yeah, it's
you know,
definitely gonna push us back. It's gonna hurt us long
oh, for
term,
sure,
most
for
definitely.
sure.
Which is why I'm wondering, like, why would you try to destroy innovating technology? Like, why would you want to keep that back if it's gonna benefit you in the long term?
Exactly. Well, personally, I think this is all a sham, just being honest with you. I think that, they pretty much, Ripple specifically has the pay to play. And I think they're going to be one of the key players out the gate once we do have regulations. Obviously, some people think we have regulations on Bitcoin. We don't have regulations on Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's
We
not
don't have
regulated.
regulations on Ethereum. We have an opinion. Okay. Some people think
Very
it's a
much.
commodity. We don't have anything tangible that actually says that. But, I think out the gate, that's going to draw some eyes too, because I know there's probably a lot of companies, countries, whatever, that have NDAs and stuff with this company, Ripple specifically. And once that comes out, I think it's going to be a wrap at that point. So, that's just my opinion. Like I said, we are waiting on regs. I think potentially a Ripple test does come down the pipeline. Obviously, the Howey test will probably go out the door, just in my opinion and my thoughts, based off the things I've seen for the YouTubers. So, that's just my opinion and the research I've done. So, but it's coming. It's just a matter of time. People aren't patient.
Yes, sir. And for people who don't know what the Howey test is, would you break that down and explain that to them, just in case they?
Uh, Yeah, so the Howey test has a couple prongs. An investment of money, of capital, expectation of profit. There's a lot of different aspects, but it doesn't meet every single aspect. So that's the two main ones that I would probably focus on. But yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, so once this lawsuit is over, right, and Ripple finally gets clarification on the XRP and clarity,
Mhm.
what do you see happening? How do you see the rest of this playing out? Your opinion, your honest opinion.
So are we talking about price? Or are we talking about the rest of the market? You want to know how to?
Just the ecosystem in general. It doesn't even have to be XRP specifically? It could just be the whole crypto ecosystem, regulations, frameworks, et cetera, et cetera. How do you think all of that's going to play out through 2023 and above?
So I think once regulations come out, 99%, maybe 98, 97, whatever, go away. Anything that doesn't solve a problem, doesn't have a use case, it's been around for long enough. Like I said, we're in a very young market right now. It's unregulated, but once regulations come in, it's going to be a totally different market. I think utility is probably going to drive the market. Obviously with utility driving the market, that comes with price as well. We do need regulations. We need into this lawsuit. Like I said, I think once this lawsuit does end, I think Ripple will be one of the only companies that has some kind of clarity in regards to use case. I don't know if they start suing everybody else or what, but out the gate, I think XRP and Ripple will probably be good to go and kosher on this side. So that's just my thoughts. But like I said, who knows? They probably will come for the rest of the market, but I think some of these projects will die down. A lot of them, if they are sued, don't have the capital like Ripple has in order to fight like the SEC.
That's crazy that they're fighting the SEC. Like they're actually fighting them. Like who just starts a company and you could fight the SEC off the rip? Like that's crazy. That's unheard of.
And this was just a startup. Like that is crazy. The fact that they've expanded, like they literally have global coverage at this point. Like almost every single nation, and the United States is the only one that doesn't think it's a currency. I don't know.
Doesn't make sense. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I hope I could find the article, but there was an article that I read, or not an article, it was on the SEC website, and it was talking about the clarifications of cryptocurrency. It was BTC, Ethereum, and XRP was on there, and they were labeled cryptocurrencies, not securities. I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link on it.
Oh, send me that.
I have it. I have it on my phone. I will definitely send it to you after this.
Send it. And I like to post things. So, my communities tab has a lot of stuff there, stuff I've come across, stuff that's sent to me, I'm tagged in. So, use it at your disposal. Plenty of information out there. So, definitely keep in mind.
Okay. And then I also heard you mention XLM. Would you like to break down XLM and XDC for anybody who might not know about this or is looking into it but might be scared to invest?
Yeah, I can do a service level. So XLM also has major partnerships. Obviously, you don't hear much about their partnerships, but they do have a lot behind the scenes. They do work with MoneyGram. IBM's a big player. I think that XRP and XLM specifically will be the liquidity tokens in regards to this new world we're going into and the new financial system. XDC focuses mainly on trade finance aspects. I think they'll be a pretty big competitor to Ethereum, but obviously we have JPM running Ethereum, in my opinion, and other people's opinion. But we shall see. We shall see. I think this is a pay-to-play world. Like I said, they're not just going to give up that power. And banks, a lot of times, to be honest, they don't want to switch technologies. They're comfortable where they're at. Obviously they can charge as much in regards to fees, things of that sort. Pretty much line their pockets essentially. So these technologies will change that. They're a lot more efficient. You can get your money from point A to point B. You don't have to worry about it disappearing. Like Swift has a 6% error rate. Like I'm gonna say you want to send money to somebody.
Where's my money go?
Like where's my money? Like and like I think we see this transition once correspondent banking goes away in regards to XRP specifically. Nostro Bostro, like that's the whole point. They've thrown that out there to everybody. That's how they market to different companies. I think that's going to be a key aspect in regards to price appreciation, in my opinion, like I said. So, but yeah, those three are the main ones that I'm focusing on. Basically, the three X's, the three amigos, however you want to look at it. But that's what I'm putting my research in, and I definitely recommend anybody that's new to the space. Don't shoot yourself in the foot by going after like 20 different projects. Find something that interests you. Find something that solves a problem. Find something that brings some kind of value to the world, and do more research into it. Try to understand it. And hey, you might find out it's not for you. That's perfectly fine. On to the next. At the end of the day, just don't. In order to establish wealth, you have to hone in on your goal, on your whatever specific technology you're investing in, whether it's stocks, whatever. Like you gotta focus on a couple. You can't just put money willy nilly in like 20 different projects. I mean, unless you have the capital. I mean, all power to you. But most people probably don't. So definitely focus in on that. Understand it. Do the research. Go through the reports. Go through the diagrams. Make sure you understand how it works, etc. So.
Okay, that's good. That's nice to know. See, you're a smart man. Look at you knowing all this stuff. So,
hey, I don't know everything, man. I learn a lot from these people, man.
Man, they're smart individuals, man. Definitely, I can tell it rubs off.
Appreciate it.
No problem, man. So where do you see, okay, so let's say it's 2030, right?
Okay.
Where do you see yourself in general in life by that time? 2030, your friends, your family, how do you see all this playing into your life? Because it's going to change your life dramatically.
Oh, for sure. I have no zero doubt
Dramatically.
about that. At that point, I see myself investing in different businesses. I've talked about well, one of my thoughts is vending machines. I like that business model. Just my thoughts in regards to that. I'm also planning on doing real estate. I've thought about what is it? Storage facilities, low maintenance,
Like
etc.
like holding people's stuff, like cars or just stuff that they don't hold in their households, like that kind of storage
Yeah,
facility.
I haven't done the full, look into it. I'm still doing my notes and everything, but that's a general idea of where I'm trying to go with it. So still doing my research on that
Okay,
side.
so I have another question regarding XRP for you.
Okay.
Uh, where do you think we are in the adoption phase for blockchain technologies?
So based off the documentation I have seen, I think we're a lot closer than people think. There's been a lot of things going on in the world. I think it's kind of being used as a distraction from what's
Mhm.
going on behind the scenes. I don't think this is like 10 years out. I think this is a lot closer than a
You think
lot of
it's a lot
people.
closer than 10 years?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, you have different companies doing CBDCs, doing different pilot programs. Like you see DLT pretty much anywhere and everywhere. At least if you're doing research into
Oh yeah, it's
cryptocurrencies.
in every paperwork that you look at, DLT, right there, right in your face.
Right.
The people
You
still
got
want
the
to say, oh, but
BIS.
it's not Ripple.
Yeah.
Who else is it?
You
Like,
have major banks putting out information all the time. Like you can even check out the World Economic Forum or the IMF. Like,
rubbing
there's
elbows with
plenty of
Brad
stuff that they're
Moss.
yeah, and they literally telegraph what they're gonna do. Like, they talk about cyber attacks. Next thing you know, oh, a couple months later, cyber attack. It's like, it's kind of funny, but they're putting out a lot of information there. And that's definitely where I pretty much started looking at that. Ripple's website. There's a lot of different places and nuggets of information that are dropped there. So that's what I recommend.
Okay, so let's say in a make-believe scenario, hopefully this never does come to fruition. Let's say a cyber attack does happen. How do you think that would affect us holders that aren't even on exchanges in general? Like, let's say we're on a hard wallet. Do you think that they might be able to take your crypto or steal it or it might disappear? How do you think that could work?
I don't think so. The way I look at it, not your keys, not your crypto. I mean, you have a better chance of protecting yourself if you hold the keys. I know a lot of people like to keep their digital assets on exchanges. You're really playing with fire.
Yeah, the hard way.
Celsius, FTX, Voyager, like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of different exchanges that have gone down and they've gone insolvent. Next thing you know, bye bye to your assets. And it's like, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So, I would just personally take the necessary steps to protect myself. Obviously there's no guarantees in life with anything, but I would probably feel safer at night knowing that I
Mm-hmm.
hold my own keys as opposed to, hey, I left my stuff on, I don't know, BitTrue or Bitmart or Uphold or, one of the exchanges. So that's just how I play it. Some people, they want to take the risk. You want to risk it for the biscuit, all power to you.